So this is part C of the Kudila television channel, timed at 1450 hours GMT, London, UK, within quotation marks, on Thursday the 16th. Are corrupt, and Timeless Council is one of the more corrupt councils, has been so since the council was created by merging Poplar, Bethnal Green and Stepney borough councils in April 1965. Timeless Council has always been corrupt, unaccountable, negligent, unfit for purpose. And there has been no real examination of the Timeless Council's corruption, criminality, negligence, dishonesty by an independent auditor, a platform supposedly called the Ombudsman. It has never actually existed. Only on paper has there been a pretense ombudsman. So the ombudsman, if it ever existed in any credible way, would have demanded the scrapping of the Timeless Council based on the enormous amount of corruption, criminality, unfitness for purpose, and dishonesty by individual councillors, the council as a whole, and since 2010, by the incumbent in the post of the so-called executive elected mayor. Timeless Council is a synonym for corruption, criminality, dishonesty, and so on. So the BBC today, running a piece about an ombudsman decision, ordering Timeless Council to pay a family about £1,300 because of its Timeless Council's failure or negligence to support a family with a member of the family disabled and needing support, failing to support that family, is an unacceptably corrupt and dishonest report itself. In all of England, there is no council, absolutely not one local council, that is above reproach, that is fit for purpose. But Timeless Council is more unfit for purpose than the others, than the majority of the other councils in England and Wales. This particular report about housing contains a reference to Timeless Council claiming that the reason why it neglected or the reason why it failed to provide support to a family facing eviction was because of the unprecedented number of or unprecedented high number. That is a lie. Housing has always been a critical Timeless Council, a failure that was made even more worse by John Prescott. Now, Prescott was appointed to head the department called DEFRA. But they also coerced Tower Hamlets Council's crooks to hand over thousands of council housing stock to a gang of crooks called Popular Haque. Thus, in one stroke, exacerbating, making worse, 100 times worse than the council's housing situation service was before the DEFRA and John Prescott coerced the council to hand over the thousands of council housing property, housing stock to the gang of crooks called Popular Haque. That situation was made even worse in the following 3 years by John Prescott forcing Tower Hamlets Council to hand over nearly 1,000 council housing stock, to another gang of crooks called Tower Hamlets Community Housing, THCH. So the Ombudsman report published by the BBC's as a report on the report today is inadequate because it doesn't refer to the Popular Haque or the Tower Hamlets Community Housing crooks and corruption done by them and the exacerbation of the housing crisis that had already prevailed in Tower Hamlets Borough by the handover of nearly 2,000 or more council housing stock to Popular Haque and THCH by Tower Hamlets Council's crooked leadership. We shall be continuing on all of those and devote an extra special updater edition or editions to my presentation of questions about Tower Hamlets community housing put in June 2013, and the fact that my question was interrupted expense of the housing services was completely unfit for purpose. And she failed to answer my questions. And the part that she pretended she was answering had not been part of my question. So I shall be factually, contextually updating on all of those in a later editions. This one is ending at about 9 minutes at 14:44 hours GMT on Thursday the 16th of May 2024.